upon a time, the kind, benevolent ruler decided that he had had enough of the evil being around, and he's like nothing can exist in my kingdom that is not love. And so slowly, all of the evil got like coagulated into a big giant blob as it was making its way out of the kingdom by the power of the Kree. But then some little jackass kid saw the big blob of evil and was like, I'll love you. And so all of that evil was going to go into the child. And everybody thought that would be a terrible idea.
Oh dear, I've interrupted the branding.
Was because they listened intently to the sermon every week and had small quibbles. And they discussed their quibbles over lunch right after church. And so I listened to them hear the word of God from the man of God and, not just kind of let it wash over them like everything he said was true, but they tested the spirits. And sometimes they definitely fell into probably like gossiping or judging. I'm sure, of course they made mistakes and went too far. They have personality foibles that can get carried away. But like all that to say, that was where the kind of perhaps skepticism, healthy or not, was inculcated for me. But obviously you can see how that would be wrapped up in issues of authority, which I don't know. Now that I'm thinking about it, does that get back to the kind of, is that why the unconditional trust is connected to the unconditional respect in some weird way? That kind of authority structure. When I was a young man, I kind of thought that like all truth was based on authority, because you had to, in order for trust to be, or forever, in order for you to hear something and trust it, you had to trust the person that was giving it to you. And the best way to trust somebody is for them to be an authority over you, because you're entrusted to them. On a little play on words, you're entrusted to them, so you trust them. But yeah, now I give a little bit more agency to the individual and a little bit more variety to the human population about how they, behave in those types of relationships. But I think the truth still, I think that there's still a nugget in there that might be helpful for your problem, Af, which is to say, I don't think you teach a healthy skepticism with something that's like not on the same level of importance or truth or reality. You teach that healthy skepticism with like the most important things in life, which are, for my family in that context was, the word of God given by the man of God on Sunday. So, yeah.
All right, and before we lock in, just a reminder for those of us in the Northwest, we're doing a camp out here the next weekend, so I will not be streaming. We'll be out at Deception Pass, which is a little spot right between Whidbey Island and the northern part of the mainland, and it should be a good time. We have a bunch of people already signed up for it. Last chance, if you want to join us and you're up in the Northwest, let me know. And now we're going to lock in, although today's stream is not going to require too much locking in, but we'll still play the branding. Good evening, everybody. Afriel here. We hope you're feeling virtually not alone. Tonight, I would like to talk about bread wardening. So tonight we're going to be playing Manor Lords, which is a colony management simulator that's kind of like medieval set. Made by some folks over in Eastern Europe, and I really enjoy it, even though it's still in early access. I don't know, there's just a really nice aesthetic about the game, and it plays very well. Oh, we got a fish. So having a pond is like absolutely broken if you know how to use it. So we will definitely be doing that. And I should probably go ahead and put a road around so you can scare off the wildlife. Howdy, Slack. You can scare off the wildlife if you build or cut down trees too much in the close proximity to one of the herd locations. So you want to like cordon it off pretty quick. And then what else do I want to do? So when you're first starting out, you kind of want to just quickly build granary and a storehouse, because if you don't, then your resources will be degraded, and honestly most of them aren't too big of a loss, but what is a huge loss is the hammers that you get. You don't like it, Grizz? You don't want me to play Autism Simulator? The tools are probably the biggest loss. Prosperity awaits. Howdy, Ron. So I'm going to talk for probably not too long here, but just to like get some thoughts out, and then I will go into Discord. And actually, you know what? Let's try something else today, especially because it's going to be a lot lower key. I'm going to go ahead and hop in the Discord, into the magic conch on the gaming couch. How to play monologue? What the fuck? I mean, I figure I should probably at least kind of explain what it is that I'm doing, so that way it's not just like he's just like clicking random things. Like why is he drawing a circle around this paw print here? Like, I feel like that's just the polite thing to do, so I'm not just leaving everybody like confused. Okay, and I want to put this here, I think. And maybe here. Howdy, Ron.
Sir, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. I'd also like to say hello to those that are in the hive mind, as I'm seated in. I believe it was General Grimwald. I can't say
Grimwald
the thing.
Grizz.
Yeah, Grimulus.
He'll get your name right eventually, Grizz. It's okay.
Yeah. When he was it or something. But anyhow, how you doing? How's the world?
Doing pretty good.
So
mhm.
what kind of game are we playing today? And by the way, if you do an autism simulator, is it just like a kid just staring at a wall, or what? Like, is that bad joke?
The joke is that like this kind of a game is very appealing to people who are autistic, and so it's that's more what the joke is.
Oh.
Yep.
Just repeat something and.
Well, especially like fine detail management of things is very.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, then I'm not autistic.
It's maybe a little bit not the most respectful to people who actually have autism, because like especially the more full-blown like nonverbal.
Oh yeah, okay. Well, my friend's kids, golly, she's got 2 that are autistic, maybe 3. No, 2. One's high functioning, the other not so much so. I haven't seen them in a while. I mean, it's almost like autism is quite normal now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like, well, what Jordan Hall says he's somewhat autistic is. Graham, I don't know if you said you were. I hope I'm not rude, or. But I thought when you guys were talking.
Certainly neurospicy.
What's that?
Neurospicy. So, also Slack is like, you don't know me or my Steam library.
Yeah. Oh wow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I just want to be neuro, okay? Like
Mm-hmm.
I smoked a
Just
lot of
regular.
pot. I'm just saying, been to many
We're just
places.
shooting for baseline at this point, man.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, yeah, we're just everyone stretch your hands towards me and pray. We
Mm-hmm.
can so so what is this game you are do you die in this game or
I
is
mean,
there dying?
you can kind of, but it's a lot harder to die, for sure.
Right?
So the
How do you
main,
feel about that?
I mean, it's hard enough to like do things in it that it kind of makes it okay as far as difficulty goes.
Okay. Okay.
Grizz says
It
his
looks
mom
like
is
a
probably autistic, so
yeah, okay. All right. I, I wonder if back when I was a kid, if autistic kids were just labeled as the nerdy kids because they usually did, they were the quiet, did their homework, or were just not odd, but they were good at school.
mm,
I wonder. Well, I wonder what the numbers are on that. If
yeah, I don't know.
autistic people in general. All right. So anyhow, back to you not dying easily. I see you running around. Aerial view of the farm or something.
Mm-hmm. So the idea with this is that you are helping to create a village. So you're doing
Okay.
all of the planning, you're doing the zoning, so to speak.
Right.
It's kind of like SimCity, if you've ever tried that.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. There's something just very satisfying about getting flows of resources right in a way that enables everything to function. Like you can kind of you figure out what the game is that the developers are posing to you because there's a
Mm-hmm.
well there's kind of an aspect of it where you just like it's going to be the same kind of a game no matter what colony management simulator is, but there's also a way in which each one's a little bit different, and so you kind of have to figure out what exactly does the developer want me to do? How exactly do they want me to play this? And then also, not necessarily how do I cheese it, but like
Mm-hmm.
what ways do I need to play this in order to kind of optimize in ways that maybe the developer wasn't necessarily expecting. And Grit says, unless
Mm-hmm.
you're socially impacted, it's not autism as he understands it, which I think
Huh.
I would argue that there's levels of social impact, but that's another discussion.
Impact usually means something bad.
Mm-hmm.
So, what were your thoughts? I know you jumped down early,
Mm-hmm.
but what were you going to ruminate about?
So, have you ever heard about what the etymology of the word Lord is?
No, but I'm going to cheat and look it up right now.
Okay.
Etymology. Etymology, Lord. The English word Lord comes from the Old English Halford, meaning master of a household or ruler. It's HLAFORD.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's long A.
Mm-hmm.
Halford is a contraction of an earlier form, Halef weird, which literally means loaf ward or loaf guardian.
Mm-hmm.
Guardian. This name reflects the dramatic custom where a chieftain provided bread and sustenance to his followers, acting as their keeper of the bread or bread guarder. Huh. All right. So I guess I know a little bit about the word Lord now.
Mm-hmm.
So So you're a big loaf. You're a loaf. You're a lord. All right. So, okay. All kidding aside, got it. So,
Mhm.
what's your thoughts
So
on the Lord?
kind of what I was actually should I put the yeah, I should put the Lord icon under the bubble. Let's do that.
Hmm. All right.
There you go, Grizz. Um, so kind of the thoughts that I was having with that. Um, first, disclosure: the point that I originally, or the person who I originally heard about that from was Curtis Yarvin, which a lot of people have an allergic reaction to. But I don't necessarily agree with his prescriptions, but I think that some of the descriptions that he has are very on point. So,
All right.
and
Considering,
mm,
can you give me the 30-second view of this guy? Because I have no idea.
he's like the guy, or actually, I don't know if he would be considered woke, right? I don't think he would, but he's the guy who has put forward a lot of thinking about positive notions about monarchy,
Oh, okay.
and so like pointing out certain uncomfortable facts about things like how the New York Times is technically speaking a fifth generation hereditary monarchy, just as an example.
Huh. Okay. That's interesting.
Hmm. So
Okay.
one of the points that he had made, and I forget what the peripheral point was, but was talking about how the origin of someone who was a lord was that they were a bread warden.
Okay.
And there's like a lot of thoughts that I've like had spinning around in my head, and some of them kind of crystallized. And one of the things that crystallized with it is like if we're calling God Lord, and we are supposed to be
Mhm.
stewards of God, then like what does that
Yeah.
actually mean practically?
What do you think? I have my opinion. What's ruminating in your brain?
So the thing that's ruminating in my brain is kind of like I think that there's some sort of technical aspects. I don't know if he's America's Zizek, by the way, Grizz, as far as Curtis Yarvin. He's definitely a bit kooky, but I don't know. I think that he has some valuable things to say, even if I don't. I don't really agree with the notion of, hey, all the things have gone to crap, so if you just give me all the power, then I'll be able to fix it. I don't generally buy
Oh,
into that.
oh, wait, and I'm sorry to interrupt you. You're gonna
Yeah.
love this. There's a skit. Um, it's is it Doctor Evil's? Have you ever heard of Doctor Evil?
From
Oh,
Austin Powers.
well, no. It's the guy who played Doogie Howser. Um, listen, Doogie Howser, Doctor Evil. Oh my gosh! If you've never seen this skit,
Mm-hmm.
you're gonna
Pee my
he
pants.
yeah, yeah, you're gonna really like it. Yeah, it's he's like a he's like the B team evil bad guy. Like he just can't make the bigs,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a musical.
Oh
And
goodness.
yeah, oh, it's hilarious. And so anyhow, I'm sorry. I'll pull it up and I'll put it in.
In
I
the
will
chat.
post the link when I get it. But I'm sorry to interfere
No,
because
you're
you
good.
just triggered me.
You're good. I like
Okay,
going on tangents.
okay, this is a 10. All right, so go ahead. So, you were thinking evil bread lord or bread lord
Well, not
and
so much
not evil
evil,
bread.
just like what does it mean to be a bread warden? Because like,
Okay.
and another thing that kind of like popped into my head that I've had spooled up in there for a while is this notion of actually I need to pause that. Um, Lost my train of thought. Oh, so there's a saying that I've heard before of like poor people spend money, middle class people manage money, and rich people invest money.
Ooh, yeah, that sounds about right.
And so it was like trying to think a bit about like how different classes of people relate with and engage with value, and trying to understand that.
Can you repeat that?
How
I,
do people from different socioeconomic classes engage with
yeah,
and relate to the production of value?
the production of value.
Mhm.
Man, help me understand what that would mean. Production of value. That's that's good. My knee-jerk reaction is poor people are just trying to live,
Mhm.
to survive,
But like,
and they're not looking.
why is it that
Mhm.
that's what's happening? Like, why can't they seem to get their feet under them?
Poverty is a cycle that is difficult to break.
Hmm.
That's what I've heard from a Navy SEAL who was in around the world.
Hmm.
So there's a cycle of poverty.
Okay. Why is there a cycle of poverty?
To be honest, I would have to say because it's willed by others in that are not in poverty. It is a system. Uh, you know, I can go a couple of vague ones.
Hmm.
Law of the jungle. The rich get rich and the poor get poorer. But why goes to the heart of man?
Okay.
And it would be greed and um, not seeing people properly, seeing them as the, well, not seeing them properly and having a wrong heart. That
Okay.
would be my quick answer to that. So, what help me understand value?
So the pushback that I would give is like there are definitely some things where people who are at a socioeconomic disadvantage will continue to be at a socioeconomic disadvantage, and I'm going to say something and I can't remember who I got it from. When you start, I think it was Peterson actually. When you start at zero, it's really hard to get from 0 to 1. Once you get off the
Okay.
ground, then it's not so bad. But like if you start out homeless, like yes, there are
Yeah.
programs and stuff to help you, but it's going to be challenging.
Right. Okay. I totally agree with you.
And
Um,
even getting
mhm.
off the ground from 1 ends up being very difficult because if you can spend more money at once, then you can usually spend less money over time.
It's, say that again. I was distracted. I'm looking up that evil Doctor Evil,
Doctor,
but I need to listen to.
um,
Maybe I am autistic because I can't let go of it.
maybe ADHD.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, yeah.
so actually, I need to make sure I get. Let's see. I need to get some food going. Can I just splice that in right here? Also, if we go long enough that I get a full fishing operation going, it's going to be glorious.
Huh.
Da, 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 da. Yeah, I'll just connect it directly right now. Should be fine. So where was I?
Doctor Horrible.
Doctor Horrible.
Okay, I got it.
Oh, is that Neil
Oh
Patrick
my
Harris?
gosh. Yeah.
Oh gosh.
Have you ever seen this?
No, I mean I've seen like the screen like the Netflix pop up for it, but I don't think I've ever watched it before.
Oh my gosh. You know what? It's not many times when I can say I'm about to do something for you,
Hmm.
but as a friend,
You're gonna treat
I
me.
give there it is.
Hmm.
So it's called, what is it?
Doctor Horrible
Doctor
something or other.
Horrible's Sing Along Blog Musical.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, it's
I will actually
awful.
watch
It's
this
great.
now.
It's brilliant. It really, I suggest that you live stream it.
Oh, Maybe like in the Discord chat kind of a thing. I think there's
Right,
some
right, right,
questions
right,
about doing
right.
that on YouTube directly.
Yeah, true enough, true enough. But it really is a good work of art. I
Okay.
gotta say, it is. It's a love story,
Mhm. It's a
and I
it's
don't
a
want to spoil it.
it's a labor of love.
Uh, I said a love story.
Oh, is it like actually a love story?
Oh, it's hilarious.
Okay.
I'm not
Not gonna spoil it.
golly. No, I'm really happy that you don't know anything about this.
Okay. I
It's
am the one of the lucky 10,000 today.
all right. So we're now I can focus on what you're saying and doing.
Okay. So the point that I was going to make was I was talking about
Uh,
differences. Oh, right.
Poverty zero to
So
one.
the next thing I was going to bring up was like if you are really really poor, you can't necessarily afford to buy more like bulk items. So like you can
Yeah.
pay usually like 10 to 20% less on food if you can buy larger quantities of that food.
Okay,
So that's one
gotcha.
way that like there's kind of a poor tax, so to speak.
Okay, no, right. So even so, so if poor people could buy cheaper food, you would save money. But would that get them from zero to one or one to two?
Well, this is like how to get from one to two, and
Okay.
another. So one of the other ways that I was going to go with this was like there's also some like impulse control issues because it's going to be way
Hmm.
more expensive to buy something from a convenience store than it is going to be to buy it from a grocery store. Like if I buy a
Sure.
single package of ramen from the convenience store, that's going to be like anywhere from like 50 to 100% more expensive than on a per unit basis than if I bought a whole bunch of it at once from the grocery store and then just pecked at it over a longer period of time.
Okay. Sure.
And
So saving, yeah.
mm,
Well, you're bringing your costs down.
right
Got it.
on a per unit basis, like you have to have more to get more, but then once
Mm-hmm.
you do that, then you can start saving more over time.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And kind of where I wanted to go with this was like I what I see a lot of times is that failure to delay gratification.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, yes, there are definitely cases where somebody is like putting the little guy down, but I think in a lot of cases it's not just that. I think that there are
Mm-hmm.
loads of instances where somebody is making poor decisions and that is what is sort of driving the problems that they're dealing with.
Yeah. Okay. Apps. Yeah. Education.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, let's just go. At least in America. Yeah, I'll
Mm-hmm.
give you that a lot.
Well, and that's yeah. I'm not talking about this as far as like third world countries where the
Okay.
opportunities to generate enough value are not as much there.
Right. Right. Okay. So I'm tracking with you, and I agree. So delayed gratification.
Mm-hmm.
Not. Yeah. Man, my mind's going all places dark that people are oppressed. No, not like dark black pill, just like looking at people are hopeless.
Mm-hmm.
And that's an emotional condition, I think, or mental,
Mm-hmm.
like a disposition. And they don't have any knowledge, and nor is anyone reaching out to them to teach them
Mm-hmm.
how to change. This is something you actually hit a pet peeve of mine.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not against sports. Let me just start with that. Like I don't
Okay.
with that out the way. I see kids from poor neighborhoods. They can't read or write too well, but they know every sports member, every member on a team. They know their stats, they know the
Mm-hmm.
games, they know the
Mm-hmm.
times. They know so much. And I'm like, these are sharp minds. These are not dull minds.
Yep.
But they are, and this is where I am blackpilling. It seems like they are almost purposefully being kept ignorant.
Yeah.
Whereas, okay, I can tell in your voice that you're tracking with what I'm saying.
Yep.
It,
No, that's. I think that there is definitely, and it's not so much that they're. Well, it's a pernicious way of keeping them ignorant. It's not like a direct. We're going to keep you down. It's more deliberately providing distractions, deliberately providing things where they are like going to be attracted to the
Mhm.
shiny thing that is going to draw their
Mhm.
attention and focus that focus on that.
And the people making the shiny thing get their money and they just don't care
Yep.
because that's the system. Am I right? Or is there something darker behind it?
Well, I don't think that's the
Well,
the only thing going on. Is the one kind of pushback I would give. I think that there are because there's lots of places and ways where people are trying to help those who are downtrodden. But I feel
okay.
like a lot of times I don't know. It feels like the proper or the actual issues aren't being addressed properly, and so as a consequence of that,
Um,
they're not actually being helped to get out from under whatever the issue is. If that makes sense.
yeah. Okay. It's tracking because I think I was painting a nice dark black line that might be way too simple. Probably is, but it. This is my thought.
Mm-hmm.
If you had during the NFL, even a few of the players go, kids, learn how to read and write,
Mm-hmm.
or this is how you do math, or even just saying simple stuff like save 10% if possible, save money.
Mm-hmm.
Um, man, I tell you
Saving's
what,
not sexy, Ron.
well, depends on who's doing it and how you light it.
Mm-hmm.
So, make it then so that it is.
Mm-hmm.
That's okay. That's funny.
I don't know that you can,
Well,
and I'll get more into why I think that's the case, but I don't think that
you're
you can.
probably right, but I'm trying to untip the windmill that has been tipped.
Okay.
So, like it's Don Quixote backwards.
Mm-hmm. You've already tilted at
How
the
do you make,
windmill, and you're trying to untilt.
or you're trying to educate the giant to not squish the people.
Mm-hmm.
And, if you can make it profitable or in some way beneficial to the giant,
Mm-hmm.
um, you know, the, you, maybe it goes back to the heart of man again. Like, why hasn't this happened before?
Mm-hmm.
Closest thing I could think about it is Conjunction Junction on Saturday morning cartoons,
Mm-hmm.
or this is back in the day when they actually had educational PSA cartoons for kids,
Mm-hmm.
and dumb as they worked, and they weren't that bad. They were goofy, and then you knew you were in class, but they weren't starchy about it.
Mm-hmm.
It was anyhow. So get it okay, because I'm kind of getting in the weeds here because you're talking about value and help me get back on track because I'm close, but I'm
Mm-hmm. So let me. I'll just jump over and start explaining what I see a bread warden doing, and like maybe that'll help shed
oh
some light
okay,
on like
yeah,
what the
yeah,
connections are that I'm
okay.
seeing. So if you are a bread warden, then your responsibility is to take in a windfall of grain at harvest time. Like all of
Hmm.
it's going to come in at once, It's not going to trickle in. Like, you're just responsible for taking in every bit of the grain that everybody has, and then you have to hold on to it. So they're responsible for storing, preserving, guarding, and then redistributing or redispersing that grain to feed everyone for the whole year until the next harvest. And there's
Okay.
a lot of important stuff riding on it. Right? Or a lot of important things that you have to do in order to make sure it works. You have to make sure that you have enough space for all the grain, because it's very easy to not have enough silos, and then anything that you don't have, if you don't have storage for it, it's gonna rot, and there's nothing you can do about it. Or you have a giant feast and hope that you can at least consume as much of it as you can in the short term.
Right. Right.
Slack says it's his grain now. So you have to make sure that your space is properly guarded against moisture and vermin, because if you don't, then it'll rot or it'll get eaten. And again, there's nothing you can do about it. It's just nature interfering with whatever you want to do.
Okay.
And then if you aren't guarding it properly, then there's going to be thieves and other people who just come on in and they steal all your grain. And again, nothing you can do about it. If all your grain gets stolen, your village is going to starve. And if you're not managing it properly, so that way you have enough that you don't run out until the time of the next harvest, then your village starves.
Okay, so I have a question for you.
Okay.
Why should you be my lord? Why should you be my bread lord, warden? What's your resume?
Well, I wouldn't
What?
desire to be the bread warden proper. What I would desire to be is the steward of the
I'm
bread
just
warden.
playing. Like,
Yeah.
I'm trying to. If you so hypothetically, what are the good qualifications for this bread warden?
I mean, for me specifically, I am really good at figuring out how to take in, store, and redisperse. There's plenty to, like, preserving stuff is different from instance to instance, and I wouldn't necessarily put myself up there as far as guarding goes. But
But you could always sub that out.
Well, that's part of you don't necessarily have to have a single person who serves all those functions. You just have to have somebody,
okay.
like, all of those functions must be served.
Okay.
So
Gotcha.
howdy, Slasher. So that's kind of where my mind's at, is like, if you want to have a proper bread warden, that's kind of the things that you have to do, the things that you have to manage properly.
So why is this? How is this on your mind? Not why, but how?
In part because I see.
Kicking around?
Well, just like, I don't know, this has been one of the economic topics that has just been on my mind a lot, because one of the things that I think is a very significant problem in the world is just, it's not so much a lack of economic education, because there were plenty of people who I went to school with in college who were receiving the same economic education that I was and just didn't believe the things that the professor was saying for one reason or another. Which was very frustrating to, like, try and have arguments and discussions with these people, and it's like, no, you're not understanding this concept. And it's like, well, I don't agree with that. It's like, it's not about agreement. Like, we're describing patterns of behavior of, like, how people engage with value. Well, I don't agree.
Okay.
Like, okay, whatever, dude.
Well, aside from them guys, pretend they don't exist. Where would this conversation go? Because it's interesting.
I think that the best way to help people who are financially down on their luck is to teach them tactics and strategies of how to delay gratification, of how to engage with the value that they are producing in a more productive and healthy way.
Okay, now we're talking. Man, that sounds like boomerality. Sorry.
Wait, how does it sound like boomerality?
No, I'm sorry. Well, actually, I don't know what boomerality is, so I'll
Mm,
just say it reminds me of people when I was a kid. People who went through World War II,
mm-hmm.
they saved things
Yep.
all the time. Nothing was wasted.
Yes, hoarding.
Um,
Oh, howdy, Spatch.
well, not so much hoarding, and that's why I was calling it boomerality. It's just the boomer generation.
Mm. Well,
They,
it's
you live.
especially the. Sorry,
No, go for it.
I was going to say it's the silent generation having suffered through the depression and then passing on their patterns of
Hmm.
behaviors to some of the boomers.
Okay, yes. Okay, that actually works because my dad was a kid
Mm-hmm.
during the Depression
Mm-hmm.
and money was tight.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so what you're talking about reminds me about it reminds me of just learning common sense things that haven't that got lost
Mm-hmm.
in a time of plenty.
Yep.
And so the things like the book of Proverbs, it I don't even know if it has much to do with God at all, but it has everything to do with common sense
Mm-hmm.
in finances and in interpersonal relationships.
Mm-hmm.
It's if if you can get like the and even the Benjamin Franklin, God, what was his? He had his own little book of proverbs, things
The
like early to bed and early to rise
Farmer's Almanac.
makes a healthy,
No, what was it?
happy man, happy, healthy and wiser. Blah blah blah.
Yeah, yeah.
It's almost like getting back to the not the ancient knowledge, but it's just the knowledge of hard times.
Mm-hmm.
What gets you through it?
Yep.
So how do you make that sexy?
Well, and that's what I mean is I don't think that you do because delay of gratification isn't sexy. Sexy is indulgence. Is
Ah, no, 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 no. That's lust.
that is lust, but that's what most people understand sexy as.
Oh, true. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, that's okay. Gotcha. And if so if you can get your dopamine hit now, why wait?
Yep.
Is okay. I can't. So back to the bread man.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you're thinking about him for a while,
Mm-hmm.
and you're thinking, is it because you're seeing the world in a cluster, and
Well,
it's just,
in
mm,
part it's because I'm seeing like when I'm playing a game like this, I'm
mm-hmm,
the one of the patterns that I am constantly managing is that sort of bread warden pattern where like I'm taking in resources oftentimes in like high volume at once, and then
mm-hmm,
I have to like manage how am I going to collect everything quickly, and then how am I going to over time redisperse everything back out to everybody.
gotcha.
And so it's kind of that like okay, I see the value of this pattern just in terms of my own playing of a game, but I don't necessarily know how to convey that to other people who don't want to play the game, aren't interested in playing that game, but still like the pattern exists in the real world too.
Yeah.
Like it's not something that's just constrained to a video game.
Mm-hmm.
But how do you convince somebody of that? How do you show them, hey, like this is a real pattern that you need to take seriously because if you don't, then you're going to get your lunch eaten. If you don't learn how
Well,
to manage yourself, then you're going to have to pay someone else to do that management for you. Is kind of what it comes down to.
I okay. So for me, it's when I hit rock bottom when I was the wannabe hippie shaman Ron,
Mm-hmm.
and it was all falling apart. And I had a good household. I grew up in a good home. Don't get me wrong. I was just I
Young,
I was
dumb, and
called
full of you
you
know what?
know
Right there.
yeah. Well, actually, I think I no, actually what it is I was called in a different direction in life. Like
Mm-hmm.
I'm not fulfilling it. Okay.
Mhm.
But up until that moment, is this spiritual moment.
This
I was
spiritual
only
moment.
seeking God,
Mhm.
and I really didn't. I didn't. What's that?
Oh, I was just being a goofball. Don't mind me.
I wasn't looking at money. I thought money, like I saw what it did for a lot of other people,
Mhm.
and I'm like, okay, you guys are a mess, so I'm not going to go after that.
Mhm.
No, no, no. It sounds time. The world drops, falls apart, and I really, I have an education, but it's in TV production, which is at with my burnout status and abilities, what I learned in school. I'm pretty much unemployable, and yeah, I'm maybe I'm smoking a lot of pot and I'm a waste. So what it is when I get into my hometown here that I'm in now, what it is I had just enough carpentry skill to know which end of the nail goes into the 2x4. I really was, but I was willing to learn. So I walked up onto a construction site and go, "Do you guys know of anyone hiring?" And they go, "Yeah." They sent me to this company, and I started from zero in construction and did it for quite a few years and learned the skill of do fencing.
Mhm.
And I didn't make a lot of money at it, but I went from 0 to 1,
Mhm.
and that was a and then that was a game changer. And then being around people in church, it's in like they weren't about it wasn't the prosperity gospel, but it was about saving. It was about working. It was the Christian work ethic, and it was really eye opening to me.
Mhm.
And you know, job work wasn't a chore and slavery. It was part of life. And I'm like, okay, so because what was the comment that started me off on this? Because you were talking, how do you get someone to want it? Was
Mhm.
that it, or how do you get people to want this information? I would have to say need, maybe desperation,
Mhm.
and then a hope for a better life.
Okay. I think that
Hope
that
is
part is
hope.
also really important. The hope for better life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's hope is a strong motivator.
Well, it's not just that
It's
it's a strong motivator. I don't think that anybody is going to be willing to put in additional effort if they don't see a future for it.
yeah,
And I
yeah.
mean, Slack's 100% on point with the fact that work ethic very often gets exploited in the modern corporatist economy.
Okay, that's interesting. Uh, um, hmm, I'm reading his stuff right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I see. Perhaps the powers that be would prefer us to be individualized,
Competing
competing consumers.
consumers.
Yeah. Um. Yeah. Well, why trust my grain to some bread? Well, actually, I think that's okay. Why should I trust my uh, grain to some bread warned when I can just keep it myself? I think learning to
Ideally, you
be
don't.
a really
Ideally, you
okay.
are your own lord or you are your own
That's what
steward.
I okay.
The the
Yeah,
problem is that a lot of people aren't capable of doing that and end up getting in a pretty bad spot because of it.
yeah. I think that's what poverty is.
Hmm.
Um, I think okay. It's not so much spiritual, but if you don't have education or if you're not taught this stuff when you're little,
Mm-hmm.
maybe even when you're bigger, but I know if you don't have it in your mind or heart for hope or achieving, or it's a weird mindset, like a spirit. And I'm not saying that it is a spirit, but it's like it's something that veils your mind, like, and I'm trying to parse this one out. It's like expectations are not zero, but they're close to it.
Mm.
It's okay. So what was this? What was the statement you made that I'm riffing off on this?
I'm honestly not sure where we came from.
Well, because you said something that triggered me, because it was, I think you were correct. It's almost like
Lack of
it's about,
what
yeah,
was yeah, not having self control.
yeah, and that's not having self-control and not having any guidance.
Yep.
Uh,
Well, especially when you are quote unquote playing against a bunch of people who are well trained in how to exploit your own tendencies towards not managing yourself properly.
right.
And so if I'm actively trying to exploit you, if I'm actively trying to get you to not be doing what you should be doing as far as being your own bread warden, then I can take advantage of you and say, "Oh well, I'll sell you some bread for a price,
Hmm.
for a higher price than you would have paid if you were able to manage it for yourself."
Right. It
And yes, Chris,
seems to
this
be
does
about,
look about the same. It's going to look kind of the same for the entire evening, so I will start fast forwarding some of it though. But yeah, and that's like how do you hmm like what do you need to do in order to help people see and understand things in a way that they can start to take care of themselves, and then also how to take care of themselves to a level where they can actually start taking care of other people too, that they can start being
that's
a
like,
bread warden, a good faith bread warden for people
mhm.
who are not quite at the point where they have the self-control to manage themselves yet.
Okay. My natural instinct is to go to identity.
Mm-hmm.
I think most of what happens in life comes from that. And if you can make a proper identity in someone, you will get probably better outcomes.
How do you mean?
Um, well, if you have self-esteem, um, when someone has a proper view of themselves, when they value themselves, when they know they're valued,
Mm-hmm.
loved, that makes the difference. You might not be rich, but I'll go back to the depression time. If you have enough for you and your family, you're and everyone else is the same, you're okay. And when how do you make some, at least in my case,
Mm-hmm.
when I could esteem myself better, worthy, um, and then with that hope, element of hope, uh, and I have to say at the beginning it was outside influences that motivated me in a positive way that I'd never seen before. And
Mm-hmm.
that was in the Christian community.
Mm-hmm.
I have to say that was like I had been around Christians, but really, it was just in word. It was actually hardly even word. It was cultural Christianity. But when I got into a spiritual community that seemed to genuinely regard me
Mm-hmm.
and encourage me, that was quite moving.
Mm-hmm.
That helped a lot. That was before my spiritual encounter. Um, so I guess identity and maybe even a positive community are ways to have people receive this. And I think they also have to want it,
Mm-hmm.
but um, usually given an opportunity, when someone sees an opportunity to better themselves and really like go from 1 to 2, that's interesting, intriguing, uplifting for sure. Like hope.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I know what was okay. I just remembered what I think was getting me thinking about this. So I had a phone interview for the plumbing gig that I'm trying to get in on.
Hmm.
And one of the things that the gal mentioned was that they have a tough time with people who are on commission who will work like just as much as they need to, but then when like the company wants for to call them up and say, "Hey, can you come and like do this job? We have somebody who has house or an emergency with their house's plumbing," and they're like, "Yeah, well, I already worked enough so that I made enough money," and they just
Oh.
don't have an
Hmm.
interest. And then
Hmm.
like I know enough with that kind of mentality to know that the pattern is like I'm gonna blow off the responsibility in the short term, and then I'm gonna panic when I start running out of money. When I don't like when the number in the bank account gets too low, it's like, oh shoot, I
Hmm.
got to get back to work. Rather than
Hmm.
trying to have a more consistent pace of like how much am I working, when am I working.
Hmm.
It's very much a I'm gonna feast when the feast is available, and then I'm going to have famine, like very grasshopper.
Right. So when they ask you that question, what did you answer? Or what do you think they were asking? Why? And was it just a blunt, are you willing to work past your minimum daily requirements for money? And
Honestly, there wasn't really a
uh,
question attached to it. I
oh,
think
what?
it
Uh-huh.
was more like her just explaining what their company's situation was to me,
Oh,
and like a
huh.
little bit of like trying to feel me out. I'm sure of like, hey, are you like
Mm-hmm.
what kind of worker are you going to be? But
Mm-hmm. Okay.
yeah,
So what'd you say?
uh, I mean, that's not my mentality. Like I'm gonna put in the hours that it makes sense to put in, and I'm gonna like work consistently over a long period of
Mm-hmm.
time. I'm not gonna like I
All
don't
right.
do that feast famine thing.
I knew you were going to say that, but I had to ask
Mm-hmm.
because, I mean, it was like the moment they asked that question, they're they're asking you like, hey, or they're telling you, listen, this okay. I I so understand what they were saying. And so by you saying, yeah, I'm cool with that, you probably became you checked that box that was pretty important to them.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, hey, the guy's willing to do the stuff. And it sounds like when I did construction,
Mm-hmm.
roofers and even fence guys like myself, it was awful. Like you did work, you made some mad money in the summer, and then you just smoked weed all winter long.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's it, and maybe that's what they were dealing with,
I mean, maybe,
and
but
they just.
plumbing, there's
Hmm.
enough indoor work that I don't think that that's as much of an issue. I could be wrong.
Well, no, I mean just the mindset. Like
Mm-hmm.
the grasshopper and the ant, they probably had a bunch of grasshoppers you know, bounce in, bounce out,
Mhm.
and they're just looking for someone who's consistent, slow and steady,
Yep.
which that actually can pay off huge in the long run.
Yes, it can.
Mm-hmm. No, that's you scratch that itch for them, you become what's known as a valuable employee
Mm-hmm.
and probably make some money too.
Mm-hmm. Well, especially if I'm working off a commission, like that'll be good.
Oh, okay. Right, right. All right. Um, hmm. I don't want to pray for you because I feel like I was gonna lock and load and just pray for you on this job thing, but
Mm-hmm.
I like it for you. You know, I want that for you.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, and if that is your inclination, I will be putting in. I will be saying as such in prayer and coming up here in a little bit. So
Mm-hmm.
that's so you had the interview. When
Mm-hmm.
was that?
Oh, that was on Thursday.
All right, cool. Huh. I want to be careful here,
Mm-hmm.
but I will say I feel pretty good for you.
No, I'm feeling pretty good about it too. Specifically, when the interview transitions from you trying to sell yourself to them and to them trying to sell you on their company, that's when you know
Ooh,
you've probably got the job. So.
okay. And I always, this is not a black pill question.
Mhm.
What are the downsides? You know, because every job has, like, is it midnight calls?
It's gonna
Um,
be well. No, it's not so much that. For me personally, the downside is that it's a pretty big pay cut to switch
mm,
fields. Like I'm going from engineering to
mhm,
plumbing, so especially starting out, it's gonna be a bit rough. Um,
mhm.
but once
Okay.
I make it over that initial hurdle of like getting certified, getting hours in,
Mhm,
it shouldn't be too bad.
mhm. Okay. I know some well, I know some well-off plumbers. How's that?
You make good money once you get certified, so it's just getting
Yeah.
the through the training period and like being able to work independently.
How long does that take on average?
Usually 6 months to a year to like start working on that kind of level. But for a full on like journeyman plumber cert, usually four
Hmm.
plus years because uh, you have to do 4 years total. 2 of those years worth of hours have to be in a commercial setting. So
Oh, I didn't know that.
mhm. At
Oh,
least for
wow.
Washington, I don't know if how it's different for different states.
Oh, okay, okay. Well, I never. Anyhow, I'll just say okay, fine.
Mhm.
Um, wow, dude. Um, muzzle tough.
Thank you. And to Slack's
Yeah.
point about there not being any personal or institutional loyalty, Um, this is a smaller business. It's not one of the like larger faceless corporate plumbing companies. So I'm hoping that I can actually develop a proper like level of personal loyalty with them. But that is going to be one of the
Hmm.
main decisions of whether I stick it with them or try and make my own plumbing company or something in the future. Is are
Hmm.
they the kind of people that I want to work for and with long term? And I'm
Hmm.
getting positive indications in that direction, but I'm gonna still have to meet the owner and still have to meet everybody else. So
How old is the company?
I think it was started in 1980. So,
Okay, that's good. Yeah,
but
that's a
it's not
nice.
huge. I think they have like
Yeah,
less
that's
than
cool.
20 techs.
Yeah, but that's actually you've got longevity,
Mm-hmm.
um, and you're not a monster, and that's that sounds like a smooth running ship.
Mm-hmm.
All right, well that's cool. Um, hmm, check you out. All right, I'm gonna have to. Golly, too. I wish the Midwestern was happening. I would come with the appropriate gift. It would be I'd have a plumber's helper,
Mhm.
but it would be a royal one. Do you know what that is?
A plumber's helper?
Yeah,
No, it's what are you talking about?
that's a plunger.
Oh, okay. I've
Now,
never heard a
oh my
plunger
gosh,
called a
I'm glad.
plumber's helper.
Oh, are you serious? Oh, listen, I'm glad I told you that one. Otherwise, the other kids in class would have made fun
You
of you.
gonna bully me?
That's it. Or else if they call you the plumber's helper, you're like, hey, buddy.
Hey, come on. I'm not a plunger.
Yeah,
Stop that.
yeah, yeah. So now you know. All right. So, all right, all right. That was your indoctrination. You'll have to learn the slang.
Hmm.
There's not that much that I know of, but that's definitely one of the words.
Hmm.
Plumber's helper. So,
I appreciate that. I don't need to be asked for go get a bag of exhaust or whatever other silly
yeah,
things that people ask each other to do.
yeah, that's it. Snipe hunting.
Mm-hmm.
That's yeah. Well, so when might this new career path start?
Probably 2 to 3 weeks. So.
Oh wow, that's cool.
Are you not even streaming to here?
Oh, I'm not. You're right. Hang on. Let me fix that. Yeah. Also, yeah, we got way off topic as far as like. I just wanted to briefly touch on the fact that that was the reason why it's been on my mind, and we ended up going way down the rabbit hole.
Off the reservation.
Woo! There. Now we are properly streaming it. Switch back to OBS, switch back to Notepad. There we go.
The Raiders are about to kill you, and I want to watch.
The Raiders are 200 days away, so they are definitely not about to kill me.
It's near.
Aw.
It says near. It
Near,
says
near is a relative term.
false
I would like to watch you
advertisement.
die.
What'd you say, Ron?
What? I would like to watch you die. It is,
No.
this is
No, we're not supposed to die. We're trying not to die.
no. You're not supposed to die. I
Yes, you're
enjoy it.
always trying not to die,
Cute,
and then
cute,
we
cute.
enjoy it when it happens anyway.
Cute, cute, cute.
Right. So who are these raiders? Are they Germanic? Are they from the Isles? Are they?
Folks who want to murder us and take our stuff. And so we're going to
Yeah,
try
yeah,
and
yeah.
prevent them
I
from
mean,
murdering us and taking our stuff.
yeah, but I mean, do they have any kind of backstory?
Not that I'm aware of. You can probably make one
Alright.
up if you want to. What's your headcanon, Ron?
Oh
Why are
my
these guys
gosh.
attacking us?
Well, I like the whole you have stuff that we want and we're lazy.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a time honored tradition.
They're a bunch of communists. Or worse yet, they're a bunch of
No.
distributists.
Distribute. No, I think they're just hoarders. They're just.
Oh, howdy, Cece. That was
So,
that was a
I
blow
don't-
aimed directly at Slack, by the way.
Oh, really? It's getting personal now,
He's
huh?
a distributist.
At least tentatively, from what I've talked with him about before. So
Oh, I've never seen him distribute. Oh wait, I have seen him distribute tents. That's right.
mm-hmm.
When's your thing?
What
Your
did you
camping
do?
with Annie?
The Camp and Hootenanny is next weekend. And it will be
People
much
could
joy and
attend
merriment
that
and hopefully
fly.
no crying children.
Hopefully, no problem. What?
Hey,
Thought
you
you
never
were
know
gonna be
until it
there.
happens.
You were gonna be there. Speaking of which, are you gonna make a baby?
At some point, hopefully. I'm not really the one who's in charge of making that decision, so. I am all on board, but it takes two to tango, so.
Oh, wow.
And it's not that
Cue the
Mrs. Pilotson is against the notion. It's just haven't quite gotten our head around it, I think. I don't know. It's like,
You just
do
throw
not
a-
make your child cry just to satisfy a stream request.
Are you gonna build walls around this place in the next 200 days?
No, we are going to arm ourselves with spears and shields, and maybe some armor. Joe says that Kelly is very well trained.
Can you build a sniper tower?
I was
No,
thinking about that.
no, there's no sniper tower. Like, maybe there will be at some point, but
Archers.
honestly, having a mobile army is more valuable than having static defenses.
Unless those static defenses are a sniper tower they didn't put in this damn game 'cause it can't be original.
I think there's, I think Farthest Frontier, which is another game that's kind of similar to this, does have sniper towers. But
I've never shot a sniper rifle.
Can you zoom
shot
in and
far.
watch the guy fish?
yeah, in fact, I'll do one better.
There's nothing better than that.
Hmm.
You're gonna go fish yourself?
I'm gonna go and check them out. Go make sure that my peasants are properly doing the work that I'm asking them to do.
The bread lord cometh.
The bread lord cometh. He demands payment. Where are my fisher people? There you are. Peasant, how goes the fishing? But yeah, just a fun little thing for this. Like,
He
that's one
wasn't
of the
fishing.
independent.
He wasn't fishing. He was digging around with a bucket.
Yeah, he was fishing and he was
I
taking
wanna
the fish
see him
with him.
fish.
You want to see him fish?
wanna-
Okay.
I
Okay.
want to see the line in the water, bro.
Okay. Was it? We're over here.
You get to battle the raiders when they finally show up.
I will not be able to now. See. Okay, there he is. And I'm apparently floating in the sky. But don't mind that. He has a
Oh,
fishing...
you're a witch!
I'm a witch.
Burn
He's a
him.
witch! Burn him!
Burn him!
All right, I've seen he pulled one in. I saw it. It's good.
Mhm.
I've been satisfied.
No blood for the blood god, Skank. Just bread for the bread lord. Could I give a 5-minute recap of what Silk Song is? So Silk Song is the next game for. I hope that they make it a series because I would love that. But it's the newest Hollow Knight game that just came out, and it is very good. The systems are a little bit different, and the way that it feels is a lot more. It's a lot more dynamic. Like it's more movement based than Hollow Knight is. Hollow Knight is more like heavy blows, like still some movement, but it's a lot more like voom, voom, voom movement, whereas Silk Song is a lot more if that makes any sense.
So you're not letting us watch you get good at Silk Song. You're just
I mean, I
practicing
can, but
off stream.
I would rather play it off stream so that way it's actually watchable on stream. Howdy, Slasher.
Howdy. You started talking about Silk Song, so I couldn't resist.
It's so good. It's so good.
I'm on the last one, the last part of it.
Very nice.
I've beaten every boss that I could, other than one. There's one that I didn't fight because I was just like, I'm done. I'm done. I want to be done. I've been playing this for 2 goddamn weeks. When I usually play a game for like 4 days and then be done with it.
It's that
But
hard
no,
towards the end of it?
It's it's not that it's that hard. It's that I mean, it is that hard. Don't get me wrong. It's that hard. It's definitely that hard. But like, and it's harder in a different way than Hollow Knight is, of course, because you know it's got to be. But it's I don't know. You know, I only got so much endurance. I could feel the steam running out of me, so I'm like, let's go fight the final boss. I could fight that last boss there that I haven't gotten to that's optional, but
We're just gonna leave that alone for a little bit. Take a break. Go do something else.
Well, no, I'm literally right now fighting that last boss.
Oh, like right now. Okay.
So if I go silent
That's why.
suddenly, that's why, because I'm doing the thing.
And we have a Slicarius as well. Welcome.
Look, I can't handle the chat lag, so I am now here.
Okay. Have you also played the Silk Song? The Song of Silk?
No, I am a cheap bastard.
It's $20.
So cheap.
Oh my goodness.
And also, I'm not good at those games.
Okay. I was gonna say, are you gonna wait for Slasher to finish so you can borrow his copy?
I don't know. I guess you could technically borrow Steam copies, but yeah, I have it on Steam, so it's less shareable, although technically possible.
Guys, sorry to interrupt, but I got to crash. Afro, I look forward to you dying in the future.
No dying.
Well, I mean, you need to let me know when the Raiders come, because then I can root for them.
Okay. I will message you on Steam or on Discord, and you can come and watch me fight the Raiders if that is
That would
if
be
you're
most
still up for it.
enjoyable. I doubt it, but we'll see.
Mhm.
All right, good night, guys.
Good night, Ron.
You can just save it before they get here and maybe do it next week.
Ooh,
Or
that's
2
not
weeks.
a bad idea.
There is no next week.
I mean, the intent with this was just to be a small filler episode, but
You can watch a replay then.
watch a replay of
The attack. The attack. The attack, man.
Ah, yes, that is true too. Okay, and we're gonna want to sell fish. Yeah, what are your guys' thoughts about bread wardening? About that pattern of receiving, holding, and then dispersing?
I think that has been deliberately disrupted in our modern age, and forces that have, let's say, orchestrated this disruption are doing it for their own gain, as they have the resources to benefit from it.
Okay. Do you think...
I think they're upgrading their peons to robo peons, and it's part of the process.
Robo-peons don't talk back as much, at least not yet.
And you can't really fault the Manor Lord for upgrading his peons, can you?
I mean, you can, but... I would say that a good king, a good lord, is one who wants to improve the assets that are under his care, and to a degree that includes people. Like, if you are not working to try and make your people better, I don't think that you're a good king. I don't think you're a good lord.
How much of it you think is like the whole "let's make hospitals" thing interfering with natural selection that got us where we're at?
As far as like, because
Like
there's like
people
a
that
reduction of
would
infant
otherwise
mortality.
be dead, all that, and also non-infant mortality. Particularly the non-infant mortality is what I'm thinking as far
Oh,
as
that people
interfering.
like are saved from their own stupidity.
And allowed to reproduce when they otherwise wouldn't. You know,
Hmm. I don't know. The thing for me is that I don't see intelligence as, and maybe it's not just an intelligence thing, but like intelligence is not as big of a barrier as I think a lot of people make it out to be. Like there's something else there of like what enables people to see the world as it is and then engage with it productively, that's not just based off of raw intelligence. And I don't know what it is, but it's I definitely saw it when I was in the army. Like there were a lot of guys who I worked with who would not have been colloquially understood to be intelligent, but they were able to like think through problems, and especially interpersonal problems, in ways that I had to learn a lot from them.
ooh, sounds like we get an example story.
I mean, I'll try and think of one real quick. Um, just loads of times where we would be hanging out at the end of the day after we'd like gotten back from the field or something, and I had learned enough to be able to pay attention to how they were interacting, especially like between my sergeants and with my sergeants with their privates, where it was like, oh, I see what you're doing, and I would never have thought to like say that particular thing to get that person to recognize like that they made a social faux pas or that they were being disrespectful, like in a way that was putting them in their place but not losing social status themselves by doing so.
How the hell did they manage that?
That's the problem. Like I can't think of very good specific instances of this. It was just something. It was a pattern that I noticed over a lot of interactions.
Empathy and intelligence are two different things.
Mm-hmm.
But it sounds like you're more describing socialization.
That too. Socialization specifically, like learning and understanding how to engage with other people so that like not like the thing that came to mind was like so that you can get them to do the things that you want them to do, and it's partly that, but it's not just like a manipulative thing. It's because in a lot of cases it is like, I am going to teach you how to do this thing because it is beneficial for you and it is beneficial for me, for you to know how to do this thing rather than not know how to do this thing. Honor shame culture, which is what the army is. Yeah. And there is HR in the army, but especially when you're talking about like line units, you're not like you don't go to HR for most problems. You just don't. If you do, it's considered a loss.
I mean, I think even in business, you probably shouldn't be going to HR for most of your problems.
Correct. Slack, we have a wood line for that. You want to go get qualified?
Boo.
For those
What's
who
that
in the
spell?
audience who don't know, qualification is when you go out into the woods and you hang upside down on a tree and you stay there for as long as you can, and the goal is to to do it for as long as you can. The goal for everybody watching is to try and encourage you to do it until you pass out. It's good fun for all. And I do want to clarify.
Not doing anything now, right?
Say again?
You're just clicking on stuff and not doing anything now, right?
I mean, I'm setting up some stuff. So, like, right now, I only have one additional available living space, and in order to be able to defend against the raiders, I want to have a larger population, and so in order to do that, I need to continue making more burgage plots so that, like, I have places for people to move into as they want to move here. So, that's what that is, at least. And I do think that there is, like, Tehran and Slack's point, I think there is a lot of, like, exploitation and a lot of deliberately not educating people on things that would help them to get themselves out of debt or get themselves out of poverty. I think that's definitely the case, but I think it's also the case that there are a lot of people who are there through their own choices and are not going to be able to change their life situation until they recognize their own culpability of those choices. And, like, there's certain financial audit shows on YouTube that make that point very, very strongly. Because you get so many people who come on and they're like, well, I just don't know where all my money goes. Like, I don't spend that much on this, I don't spend that much on this. And then the guy's like, yeah, but you spend $1,000 a month on Labubus. It's like, yeah, but I have to spend that much on Labubus. Do you? Do you really? And there's definitely, like, some cases where it's like, yeah, you're just kind of screwed. But there's so many cases where the problem is that they're spending inordinate amounts of money on one thing that's not necessary, and they just are going to refuse to change their spending habits. And I guess the question for me is, like, how do you reach somebody who's in that position? How do you help them to see that they are the maker of their own personal hell? And I don't really know how you do that. I don't really know how you reach somebody. And not have them just slap the hand away and call you all sorts of names. Capitalist pig. It's not my fault I'm in debt. It's not my fault I'm having these issues. It's like, not completely, but you're not helping the situation. You're not able to serve as your own steward. And so other people are having to do it for you, and you're getting hosed because of it. Hell Architects Anonymous. It's a lesser known branch of Alcoholics Anonymous. and I'm not unsympathetic to like exploitation stuff. Like Slack, I've heard your story before of like going and working for an electronics shop and you're making pennies on the dollar for what your employer is making off of the repairs that you're doing, and I don't think that that's okay. But like, I don't know, like, how do we get away from that? How do we reclaim that personal individual sovereignty?
Perhaps by throwing out the individual, realizing that we are groups of people working together to accomplish goals.
Okay. But then where do you locate the responsibility when things go wrong? Because that's the part
Since
that's
I am a firm believer that democracy is a failed experiment, in me, a strongman central figure that rules every.
a monarch.
Only if it's me.
Only if
Otherwise,
it's
anarchy.
Otherwise. Oh, goodness. You do see the problems with that, right?
Blind. And I'm illiterate, so I think that sounds great. I would make a great king.
A blind, illiterate king is the best king that you can have. You heard it here first, folks. Yeah. And I know that it's not quite what Skank said in his comment, but I think that the political salvation has to work in concert with American political institutions. The thing in particular that I see with that is that political salvation doesn't work if you don't respect Chesterton's fences. Like, if you're just going to try and throw out everything and start over again, I don't think that works. As tempting as that is, and as difficult as it is to salvage a hairy situation. Oh, read his words. American political intuitions, not institutions. I am also illiterate, apparently.
So different.
What?
We're illiterate. We're all illiterate. We have no ability to read.
You bet your sweet burgage.
Well, butter my burgage.
Is that a church?
Yep. That's how you know it's a Slavic game, is because they actually included a church in it.
But what does it do?
You have to have it, otherwise your people get upset and they don't do things for you. Also beer. You have to provide them with beer, or they will also get upset with you.
Church and beer is all it takes.
Mm-hmm.
Nation of every small town on the western.
So what you're saying is that they need to start making combination liquor store churches, and then we got everything in one spot.
I can confirm that in all of my time when I would drive around, like, I think the biggest example was when I was 19 and my dad drove me back up to Canada so I could drink for my birthday. And we went through many small towns, and there was always a consistent aspect to them. They would have a church and a liquor store.
Mm-hmm.
So apparently that is just the requisite of have a small town. It's got to have at least one church, because there was usually two, two or more, and a liquor store.
I mean, that sounds like it makes sense to me.
Weren't monasteries church liquor stores?
That's a
Because
good point.
you need to get spiritual in both ways.
God bless. Which do I want to do first? Brewery extension? Yeah, that's a better way of doing it. And make a malt house. Just throw it here for now. Come on, game. I might need to deconstruct that first. There we go. But yeah, I mean, it's been kind of my focus of like a lot of the things that I've been talking about. But I think that the way that you help people and improve things the best is by helping to give people whatever the tools are that they need to succeed in the future.
And clearly those tools are spiritual.
Church and beer. That's all you need.
Church and beer. Those are, I mean, those villages must have been thriving. I mean, they're around. Church and beer makes the world go round, I guess.
Mm-hmm. And so it's like, what psychotechnologies can we give to people to help them to see the world in more accurate ways and more productive ways? And I think that like, I don't know how you necessarily convince somebody that personal bread wardening is worthwhile without them just kind of like seeing the value of it, but at least seeing that as something to try and bring to people.
I would like my technologies to be sane, please.
Like you're
None of these psycho technologies.
Oh, okay.
That just goes bad.
batshit. They're crazy technologies, man. They're psycho. Beer is proof God loves us and wants us to be happy. Amen, Skank.
Cause of and solution to all of life's problems.
All right, Homer. But yeah, I don't know. It's because it's one thing to, well, one, feel like you have the answer and then not actually necessarily have the answer, because that's always a fun little delusion that people fall into. If they would just listen to me, if they would just do the things that I'm telling them to. It's like, maybe you're not actually telling them to do something that they should be doing. But assuming that you are, then there seems to be some issue with how you're selling your idea or how it's being received.
Be
and
more
so,
convincing.
well, that's not always an option, but it's at least more in the right direction, I think. I don't know. Because like there's a financial benefit, but there's also just like a, not a safety benefit, but like you can, if you're willing and able to be your own bread warden, there is a level of security that you can provide to yourself and to the other people who are in your care that you would not otherwise be able to do. And it's not just bread wardening either. The other main case that I see this working with is like water management, in terms of like damming up large spring rushes of snowfall melt, and then like managing that in terms of like water rights and stuff like that over the course of a year. And there's definitely opportunities for corruption and other issues that come along with that too, but I don't know. It's a pattern that I see manifest itself over and over and over again, and I just don't see a lot of people able to recognize that. Don't see a lot of people able to properly deal with the world in a way that is actually productive. Or at least not self-destructive. What do y'all think? Am I talking crazy?
See, I was so. No, maybe. Not
Okay.
sure.
Because I can definitely see that good faith effort being interpreted as somebody just being overbearing, as somebody just being a jerk. Insensitive to the difficulties and problems that they're facing. It's like, no, it's not. It's not where we're coming from. We're trying to like give you the tools so that you can beat the boss for yourself. Because it's better over here. It's better when you can beat the boss yourself.
Hey guys, you know that saying "no cap"?
Yeah.
The fuck is cap?
It is to lie. I don't know
No.
what that's in reference to.
So
Opposite of no cap.
Kappas are like mystical creatures that are like trolly creatures. So slash Kappa used to be an emote on Twitch that was very popular that you would put whenever you were trolling. And so that somehow at some point got pulled into common parlance. And so no cap means I'm not kidding, I'm not trolling, I'm not joking.
Yes, so therefore cap means you are.
Yeah. But it's not like lying, it's like trolling.
Well, I was just watching this video about Iraq zombies.
What?
Yeah, and the guy kept saying, "Y'all think this is cap?" I'm like, what the fuck?
But
is
no
that?
cap.
I mean, I know what he meant because like that's the way language works, but
Mm.
I didn't know what he meant, man.
Mm. Yep, it is. I am trolling, I am joking. That's what that means.
I mean that shows how far up with the lingo I am at this point.
So like a kappa? How do you spell that?
Kappa.
Oh, with the K.
It's like a weird turtle man
Yep.
thing from Japanese folklore.
Yep.
A river child. Like that's the Japanese word for groiper.
I suppose. I wasn't thinking that, but I guess you could make that case. Those guys are not nice, by the way. lot of harassment and garbage coming out of there.
Out of the
Green,
Kappas.
slimy, scaly human beings with webbed hands and feet.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, they got turtle-like carapaces.
We'll call them kappas so we don't summon them.
They love cucumbers and sumo wrestling.
And cat boys.
Oh, and they're often accused of assaulting humans in water and removing a mythical organ called the Shirakodama.
Yeah,
From
guess
their
where that
victims.
organ is?
From their victim's anus.
Yep. It's actually kind of funny because in was it Sekiro?
Mm-hmm.
There's a monster that you just grabs you in the butt and kills you.
Oh gosh.
Pulling
Lovely.
out your shit.
When's Af running
Rikodama.
Sekiro?
Buttocks Weeball.
I mean, if you guys really want to watch me get good, that's going to be the way to do it. Of like playing a Souls-like game that I have no experience with previously, and just letting everyone else suffer through me with it, or suffer through it with me. Blah, blah.
Sif, so it's not really worth it.
Shoot. How do I... Whatever. They'll get it built.
Are they going to have Christmas Mass?
I mean, I think that's... I don't know if they all go in there at once, but you do see a whole bunch of people going in and coming out. Joe saying, I thought Cap was a reference due to crypto. Maybe the... I'm most familiar with it on Twitch, but that would probably be a know your meme question.
Who's that one that lives off way at the north of town? The witch?
No, it's just the stonecutter camp. That's one of the fun things, is you gotta kind of like go out afield for resources. I don't want to overfish it, but I might put a couple more people in.
Happened with those monsters you made the road around.
What happened to... Oh, they're currently recuperating their population. So once they get a little higher up again, I'll start hunting them again. Oh, I can't fish in the ice. Because I didn't
You
take
don't
that
know
perk
ice
yet.
fishing?
No, they don't do ice fishing. Love for you guys to take that one random log so I can continue building houses there. But you're going to take your sweet time, aren't you? I'll have to move those at some point. I think we got some malt. Yep, barley. And we'll unassign them for a second. But yeah, if anybody is watching this specifically for Manor Lords, which I doubt many people are, but this has been the best way I've found to do carrot farm plots. Is you do 2 houses or 1 house on either side, and then you have like a larger field behind that row of houses. It can be kind of janky to snap to grid whatever the points are, but if you just build a road around it like that, it should construct it so you actually have a decent sized field. Probably don't need to do clay, but I do want to up the limits for those. And then importing iron might make more sense there. Because you want to make sure that you got your guys all armored up as much as you can, although we only have 19 days till the attack, so I'm probably just going to be stuck with what I got.
Go Raiders, go! Go Raiders,
No.
go!
Worst comes to worst, I should be able to hire mercenaries to help me out, but we'll see. You're not supposed to cheer on the bad guys, Slack. Although I guess that you could just like launch into a discussion of, well, who are the good guys? Who are the bad guys? Af? What makes you so sure you're one of the good guys?
It's such an easy rhetorical trick, though, and I hate.
But it's so effective. Especially if the person is aware of the fact that you don't know who you're working for.
So are the Raiders here now?
In 6 days.
Oh boy.
Do I want to build another single burgage? No, I'll do a double. I think probably about there. And then we shall see if we live or if we die. Oh, power flicker.
The odds that I'm rolling in plate mail.
No, the raiders, especially in the earlier stages, are not very well equipped, which is good, because otherwise I would probably die.
Oh my god, it's happening!
Enemy unit has been spotted. Where are they at?
You're gonna walk.
Get him! Get him!
Oh, there they are. There's only 10 of them, so we should be able to handle it. So we shall rally the troops.
You wanna go into Lord Vision?
Maybe as they're fighting? I can like try and run over there. Yep, here they go.
Yay, it's the bloody action we've been waiting for.
I do have to like get them set up though.
Where are those guys going? What are the birds?
Yeah. And then do not run. Balanced.
Helium. Helium. Look, the Lord's running with him. Just take him out. That's all you need to do.
If you just kill him, then everything will be okay. Yeah, get him, guys, get him!
I think they don't even have shields, man.
No, they just have clubs. Or some of them do. There's one there
This
that
is
does.
the end of violence we've been waiting for.
Ah! Hold the line!
Carl, go stab that,
that was
asshole
actually-
in the cloak over there.
Kind of brutal.
Got one.
Like, knocked him over and then just stabbed him in the heart.
I got two. These two are dead. Take the other end of the line.
There we go.
Oh. Fleeing.
We win! Huzzah! And we only lost one person. That's not bad. And then disband unit, and they'll go back and they'll just go back to their regular lives. No PTSD required.
Who's gonna loot the corpses?
Nobody loots the corpses, but we do have to take care of them. So one of our guys died, so we need to have somebody bury them at the church. And then we need to make a corpse pit, because raiders do not get treated with dignity. They get thrown in a hole.
You can't take them and use them as food.
That is disgusting, no.
Should you not love your enemy or something?
Oh my gosh. Not that kind of love. Love them as a tasty meal. Nom, 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 nom.
It's a limited game. No sniper towers. No
No.
cannibalism.
No cannibalism. We'll have to do... does RimWorld have cannibalism, or just other things you do with corpses?
Other things?
Not those other things.
I don't know what kind of games you play.
We love Jesus and we eat him. I mean, I guess, Skank, but... Okay, and I don't really have anybody for Mont House or the Weaver's Workshop. Just because Jesus told us to does not mean that he was telling us to engage in cannibalism. Also, my power is flickering for some reason, so if the stream goes out, that is probably why. What do we get? 3 Okay. Do the Weaver first. Oh, I need a bloomery. That was what I was going to get. I have this cleared out yet? Not yet. Okay. And I do want to make some of my housing closer to the fishing, because that's where we're going to have a lot of people in the future. Yeah, the Raiders really didn't deliver on the thumbnail, huh? Gil, we're supposed to
I was
kill.
expecting just mass
Carnage.
casualties.
I mean, for them it was. Call an ambulance, but not for me. But yeah, I'm sure that these villagers are going to be perfectly fine, you know, murdering those raiders and seeing one of their own guys die and then just having to go right back to work. I'm sure that there won't be any issues from that.
You had a state funeral.
Yeah. We got the morning out of the way. Now back to work, peasants. That's how a responsible lord's supposed to talk to his subject, right?
How else will they know that you're superior to them?
Probably by oh gosh. Have y'all ever watched Hey Ash, What You Playing?
No, I sound too old for that.
Okay. Guy who wrote a lot of the stuff for Borderlands did some video content with his sister, and some of it is very amusing. There was actually they featured her in a fucking Super Bowl ad for State Farm. Like they had her on with Jake from State Farm. It was very surreal. Anyway, one of the times they're playing some board game and she's playing as America and she pulls out a giant purple dildo and just starts slamming it on the table and like knocking all the pieces out of the way with it. It's fairly amusing. Albeit fairly inappropriate, but whatever.
Not even talking anymore?
Manor Lord Zone. Achieved geek flow. Viveki would be so proud.
Oh.
You're like streaming dead air, man. The sound effects are pretty quiet.
Wait, I was talking for a little bit there. Did it just not come through?
Not at all.
Well, that is fun. I'll just have to move closer to the mic then. Yeah, no, I was talking about the "Hey Ash, what you playing" thing, and there's one video where she's playing as America and takes a giant like, oh, what game is that from? Saints Row. Giant
Sure.
purple dildo from Saints Row and just like slams it on the table and starts knocking pieces off with it.
All right, I'm gonna go walk kayfabe. See you guys.
Good timing. Maybe it was for the best that I wasn't audible before. Well, been on for 2 hours or so. Y'all have any closing thoughts? Otherwise, I'll probably shut down the stream.
Yes. Not really. I don't know. I tried. I tried.
How about you, Mr. Slicarius?
I was only here for the bread warden, which I
That-
believe we have achieved.
I mean, that's what the stream's been about, so. Do you think that the right way of going about it is to improve the individual's ability? Because like you're talking more collective stuff, but I don't know that you can achieve that kind of effect with just collective action. I think that at a certain point, it does come down to the individual and empowering people as individuals.
Sure. As long as the systems that take these empowered individuals don't put them into conflict with each other just in order to get them, a race to the bottom.
Well, that's I think what I'm trying to get at though is that that's not really empowering those people, and that true empowerment is giving them the skills to work together cooperatively in a way that is beneficial to themselves, to the other people around them, and to the system as a whole.
Good evening, gentlemen.
Well, howdy, Neil.
Hey, it's Neil.
Good
I always have this weird habit of like inviting people on the AF stream.
Who you got this time?
Henry?
Oh, yeah,
sweet.
sure.
I can go back into spectator.
God bless. Yeah, give me 1 second. Let's see. Escape.
And then Slack just leaves. All right.
I mean, we
Henry.
were about to wrap it up, but
We're
I'll
getting
be
you.
happy to keep playing for
Well,
conversation.
Henry said he only has about half an hour left anyway, so
Okay.
in him. So
Perfect.
yeah.
Does he have an invite?
Yeah. Oh, it's Henry. Yeah, I'm gonna send it. I'm gonna post it in the chat just so
Okay.
I'm not saying it out loud.
Well, I can also just post a Discord invite into the chat, so I will also do that if he's watching.
Yeah. Hopefully. Oh, yeah. Let me actually send him the YouTube
live
link because
Yeah.
I'm an idiot.
You're not an idiot, Neil, but we do expect better from you.
I'm older than I look. Just I'll claim boomerality and leave it at that.
Boomer isn't an age. Boomer is a state of mind.
Yep. I think he's in.
Okay.
Yeah. And then you gotta
Yep,
you
I
gotta
gotta
bring him into
unbaby
the
jail
game.
him.
Unbaby jail him.
One moment, Henry. Da, 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 da. All right, you should be good. Just hop in the gaming couch. Hold the magic conch.
There he is.
Howdy,
My
Henry.
game.
How's it going?
Hi. It's going. It's a Saturday night. I should probably be in bed for church since I have to do like first impressions at like 10 in the morning, but I really think I hit my second wind.
Okay.
Well, Af lives in the Pacific Northwest, so he's a heathen. He does not go to church.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. That track. Where in the Pacific? Okay, I mean, never mind. Don't dox yourself.
No, I'm fine with doxing myself. I mean, I dox myself via Elsnet, so I'm up in Bremerton.
Okay.
Yeah, just across the sound from Seattle.
Okay, so I was born in Washington, and then in Tacoma, and then was lived a long time in Seattle Children's Hospital.
Preemie?
Complicated.
Mhm.
So, yeah, that's cool. I've never been back since.
It really is beautiful up here, I will say.
Yeah, I've seen photos of my like parents' old house, and like you see the mountain. You just turn around, the mountains are there, and it's like, oh wow, that's really nice.
Mhm.
Okay. That's not why I think we like crashed your stream though.
No.
Yeah, what were you guys talking about? Because I feel like I kicked Slack and Dashing off.
I mean, we kind of...
They're like, oh,
Nope. Good. We were talking about some game stuff, but the stream topic was this notion of the etymology of Lord being bread warden, and then me kind of talking through what I think it means to be a good bread warden.
Well, you didn't kick me off. I just,
Chose to
was
leave
free.
voluntarily.
I know I smell bad, Slack, but you don't have to make it so obvious.
Oh, it's one of those Deus Ex players? Ugh.
Yeah. Bread Warden. Tell me more about Bread Warden.
So, bread warden being somebody who receives the grain from the peasantry during harvest time, and then properly stores it, preserves it, so it's not going to get moldy or get rats and stuff in it, and then keeps other people from stealing it, and then makes sure that they're giving it back out to the peasantry as they need it, but in such a way where they're not going to run out of grain until the time of the next harvest.
That's Joseph and Coat of Many Colors. That's what Dr. Joe does. But he does a 7-year wardenship until his watch is ended.
My watch has ended.
Interesting. So what's relevant about? Because Henry and I were we were talking about, obviously separate, but we were talking about the idea of a ranger, or the idea of like watching and waiting, and what does it mean to be, let's say, not at war, but an active participant in I don't know, whatever we're waiting to occur. That's a terrible way of saying it, but
It's a more realistic one, though.
yeah.
It's a slightly different pattern, but it's that same kind of like you have to do the work of preparation in advance of a thing. Like it's more, instead of receiving something all at once and then slowly dispersing it, it's slowly accumulating something over time so that way it can be released all at once when it needs to be.
Interesting. So the parable of the sneaky, dishonest steward.
That one's a bit different too, though. because that one's more like there's layers to that one where in my mind the one of the deeper parts of it is that as a good lord you shouldn't, just because someone is dishonest doesn't mean that they're not effective, doesn't mean that you can't make good use of them.
I also think the meaning of that parable, I think it's primarily about using the dead parts of the current world to make your way into the new world,
Mm-hmm.
whatever that new world is. Even if those parts of the old world weren't all on the up and up, you could say.
Mm.
But there is a. I'm trying to tie this back to your bread lord analogy. What is it that we're storing up right now? I actually have an idea what that answer is, but yeah,
Mm-hmm.
What do you guys think?
I want to hear Henry's thoughts first.
Oops, I think I muted myself. Am I
We
back?
can hear you now.
Yeah, you're back now.
Okay. I tried to do the push to talk, but I don't actually have the application. Anyway, I was saying like maybe we're not actually storing up for ourselves treasures in heaven, ultimately in the kingdom,
Mhm.
doing the thing we do for the most part in the corner. I mean, like outside of like some of the friendships and stuff, I think that's real, and I think that's something. But is ultimately what we're doing like for the kingdom? Will that actually look like C.S. Lewis says that with regards to like relationships on earth, if they don't ever reach or begin to be sanctified and be found in agape or in divine love, like unto the love of God, then they will never be seen in heaven. It's like it's that whole concern of like, gosh, I sure hope I'm still married in heaven. Like, well, you're not gonna be in the same way.
Mhm.
But if agape had begun to been forged, the divine love had begun to be forged in the two of you, you will know each other in those days. Otherwise, if none of that exists, it's gonna be like running into this old like, mate from primary school you used to play chess with. You're gonna be like, oh hi, and nothing to say to you, and like you move on. So maybe there's some friendship then in agape in that will be cultivated. I don't know if all of the discourse that we necessarily have is ultimately going to generate anything in the kingdom of heaven, though. And I don't have any specifics offhand for whatever reason, because it's 11 o'clock at night. But I don't know if all of this doomsaying and some of the stuff we do is ultimately going to be a reaped, I guess, in the days to come.
Mm.
I guess I'm using explicitly religious terminology for, people who live in the Pacific Northwest.
Well done.
I mean, as far as that goes for me personally, like, I think that I have a lot of anxiety about where I live and about the kind of people that I am living around. And if shit did hit the fan, that I would potentially have physical security questions.
You say this as a shadow passes over your little town here, Af.
It's clouds. I can't zoom out to show clouds, but it's just clouds.
Okay.
But yeah, that's like something that I have very deep concerns about. And what I'm not necessarily trying to, or my direct focus isn't on storing treasures in the kingdom of heaven. My direct focus is how do I learn how to talk with and engage with people in a productive way, so that way, even if they see me as this evil person who, if they scapegoat, they can make the world a better place. How do I engage with that person in a way where they actually can see me as a human being?
That's a really good question. Um, did I unmute myself again?
You're good. I can hear you.
Oops. I was gonna say, I said that's a really good question, and far less me operating off of presuppositions. I would say maybe the first question is like, are there still opportunities to interact with these individuals, almost in like a way by which to kind of build ethos with them, build trust with them, because that's what Neil and I were talking about, was that trust is like the ultimate kind of
Currency.
currency. Yeah, it's the currency and the means by which nuance can come about, or maybe like that's how that happens. And so is there, I guess, to build trust with these people, regardless of any other differences, to say the least.
I mean, it's not something that I'm like going out of my way to like go to places where I would assume folks like that hang out. It's more when I have coworkers who have certain beliefs, certain understandings, how am I engaging with them? And then as far as like TLC goes, it's how am I able to engage with people, and not just like a left-right dichotomy, but have wildly different ideas and perceptions about things as fundamental as the nature of reality. Like, how can I'm practicing every time I'm interacting with people. Like, how do I have a productive conversation with somebody like that? And the good news is that, or good news and bad news, a lot of folks who are TLC participants are very open to experience, and so they're willing to hear other people out even if they're not necessarily in agreement. I don't know if I would have that same courtesy extended if it was, "Hello, comrade. We have heard that you had voted for Trump in previous elections. We would like for you to justify yourself, or we will take all your food."
This comrade.
God bless. You're gonna take my food?
And then give it back to you. It's fine.
Become my bread lord.
I will be your bread warden.
Oh my goodness.
Until your watch is ended. I think trust is comprised of two elements primarily. And one is, are you able to deliver what you promise? Or, and that's basically your competency, how effective are you at delivering value or capability, whatever's needed, let's say. But then the second is one layer below that, which is like, are you serving the same team, the same God, same
eschaton?
Yeah. And I think that's the hard one. And I think the way to the second one is actually through the first one, and through providing some value to your local community in whatever capacity it's possible to do so. Shoveling snow.
Yep. Helping your neighbor with yard work.
And maybe their element of trust is shared suffering, and like suffering as like the broadest term ever, and it can be like the most first world inconvenience thing, and suffering at its worst at this, like, I think those things build trust too. So I work in the public schools, and it's quite politically not where I'm probably at, or even like just culturally, socially. And some of those guys and gals with whom I work with, I have a lot of respect for. And I think there's a lot of trust there as well, especially since they're very conscious of my own kind of background. And so, but it's also because we've dealt with some of the worst of bureaucracy and kind of the culture that exists in the school and county and space that we're in. And so that's endured together. And so that's kind of the common, like, telos, I guess, that kind of brought us together, and same mission. And so that has done a lot to then also allow for some of these other views and concerns and differences to exist and just be there without any issue. And I don't know how it works for you within your workspace or communities, but are there spaces in which suffering in the most like lame way, if you want to describe that, or in the most significant way exists that it can be shared? Because I think that helps in building trust as well with people.
There's not too many opportunities for it, at least not that I've, like, not in that sense of suffering together, at least. Like, having the same suffering independently that we can both gripe to each other about, yeah, but like talking about
Sure.
atomized individuals like Slack was before, like, I think that one of the really difficult things to deal with is the fact that a lot of work as it is structured is designed to be done by atomized individuals who, like, if you're not working productively on whatever it is that you're assigned and you're like taking the time to like help other people or ask other people for help, then you're doing it wrong.
Interesting. That's such a different work culture than what I live in and have lived in.
What's it been like for you?
I'm a public school teacher, and so to a degree, there's a need for collaboration in professional communities, whether that's across departments or across grade level, etc. And so there's a lot of, I guess, atomization in that you're running your own classroom, but literally going to see the rest of your department in some way and have the same challenges with planning and all that. But then you also sometimes have a shared frustration and also being affected in the same ways by the bureaucracy and the powers that be. And at least with the community and the department that I'm with, this camaraderie and kind of togetherness because of all the silliness of the bureaucracy, that in spite of the powers that be attempting to divide and conquer and split us all up like they did last year, we still get and eat lunch together and meet in each other's rooms. And I absolutely crashed a meeting that was not designed for the grade level I teach and hung out in there anyway, because that is so collaborative to an extent, and there's a pooling and a sharing of resources and all that. Like, it's really difficult to be a teacher and work atomized. Because I'm doing that now to a degree, much to my behest. But that's not common, which is interesting. And even like a retail space, to a degree, when I was doing that, if you sit at the counter and you deal with the same lame customers and annoying customers together, I feel like that built camaraderie with those with whom I worked with too. I don't know.
But I would point out that from what you were describing, you were doing that like against the existing system. That if the system had its way, it would have kept you atomized, and that you guys were working together because you saw the value in it independently of what the system was trying to do to you.
Yes and no. The learning communities are built to allow for intentional time to share data.
Okay. What does that actually mean in
allocated-
practice?
Well, the way it should work is that we all pool the performance of our students with regards to grades, and then or test scores, and then you kind of say, all right, what can we do individually in the class, and then as like a group as a whole, because there's usually patterns between classes with the data, and you say, great, what can we do to begin to remedy or to affirm kind of the data that exists? And so that turns into development of new curriculum together, or a pivot in instructional design, or a lot of suggestions between individuals for improvement, like a lot of advice in a lot of respects, in feedback. And so yes and no.
Mhm.
The powers that be wanted to split it, I think, because I mean, there's a lot of reasons for it, but I don't think they liked how well we are with each other, because we would push back a lot on some of the more bureaucratic sides of things
Mhm.
and decisions that were made.
What about you, Neil? What's your experience has been as far as like superiors being more or less okay with collaboration between subordinates?
Um, hmm. The key is getting to a place where, well, you got to have the right manager. That's the first start. My father always said that he could tolerate a manager who was nice but incompetent, or mean but competent. But if you got both, the mean and incompetent, that was the rough thing. Yeah, it's been my case too. I've had the good fortune of mostly having competent and nice managers, which really is a luxury, and I really should give thanks and gratitude for that more often. Yeah, a nice and competent manager will point you in the right direction, but will then allow you to do it the most effective way, and then just judge the results of whatever you do and guide you, and you know, if you need help, be able to guide you and point you in the right direction when you need help, but doesn't tell you how to do it, and values your input along the way. Yeah. So sorry, I missed some of what you guys were talking about, but I think I caught the tail end. Yeah, I have had the good fortune of being able to surf bureaucracies fairly well. And some big bureaucracies too that I've seen really grind people down. There's a certain personality type that, if the type of person doesn't get explicit instructions as to what should be done and exactly how to do it at every step of the way, runs into trouble. And part of that, I think, is if like you're not particularly good at what you do, then you're always second guessing yourself, and you're always worried that you're going to make a wrong move, so you don't want to move at all unless you're explicitly told what and how to do. But be bold, and mighty forces will come to your aid. I think if your heart's in the right place and you're aiming for the right thing, and if it doesn't work out, then it wasn't meant to be. And I think most of that is a problem of courage, where like if there's a bureaucratic morass, you can't get something done. I think usually the right course of action is to take action, and in some way, shape, or form, and then apologize after the fact. I have a really sneaky technique that I've never heard anyone else say this technique, but I'm a big fan of this technique. Maybe it's applicable. I can mention it. Okay. Let's say you're trying to get something done, and it requires like 5 people to support it or something. And it's not going to happen unless those 5 people support it. So the way you do that is you individually go to each person, and ideally you do that in the most personable way possible. So if you could do it in person, great. If you could do it over a Zoom conversation, second best. If you do it over a telephone, third best. If you do it over email, that's the worst. But you do it on an individual basis. That's the point. And you say, hey, I have this idea. You came to mind as someone who's important for this idea, and because you're significant in these ways. And you're not blowing smoke up their butt. But what you are saying is you're pointing out the ways in which that person is instrumental for the success of the idea. And you say, but I need your support. And, in order to do it, like, I know I can't do this alone, and I need your support. And so, can I get your support? And you just do that individually. And the person's like, oh, yeah, of course I'll support you because, we're friends and da-da-da. Whereas in a group setting, that might be much less willing to do that. So you do that individually with like 5 people ahead of the group meeting. and then you get, or like ideally you do it for everyone individually before you get into the group meeting, and then you get in the group meeting together, and then you say, okay, some of you I've reached out to ahead of time about this, and in reality you've reached out to all of them ahead of time, but you said, and I'm introducing this, and this is why I think it's a good idea. Now some of them might still go back on the individual, but individually people are much more likely to be like, oh yeah, I'll support it. Versus if you get them in a group where they can just argue with each other right out of the gate, it's like, man. But if they're already in like that, yeah, we're already doing this state of mind, and then they get in a room together, and then it's just a matter of figuring out how they're going to do it versus like arguing whether they should do it. Yeah. Anyway, every battle is won before it's ever fought.
Plot the coup before you announce the.
Amen, brother.
I don't know. I think you should just walk into the throne room with the King's Guard and then announce that Circe is a bad person and she's getting arrested.
Look at me. I am the bread warden now.
I am the bread warden. He who comes to me will have bread forever.
The bread warden cometh.
What kind of bread?
Poppy.
Ugh.
Made from heroin.
Wait.
I don't like that kind of bread. Can I have something else?
What else is on the menu? Let's go
Why you
back
gotta
to
be
the
so
buffet,
picky?
gentlemen. Yeah, I mean, those poppy seeds get stuck in my teeth. Ugh. Ick.
Just want that like plain white Wonder Bread type stuff, yo.
No need to. Well, I won't go there. Is that a wrap? And it's not a bread joke because it's not actually a bread. It's like a tortilla. Yeah. No. Bueller.
Unless anybody has other closing comments. Henry,
I'm
Slack?
so tired apparently that in my
Slash.
brain I thought I had to be up at 8. I have to be up at 8. I have to be up at 9 because okay, 8:30 because my church doesn't start till 10, but in my brain I was like I got to get there because it starts at to be up at whatever. I'm so cooked.
But are you cooked like bread?
No, more like the flakes of like a meal or what's left, and like it just gets kind of burnt and charred, and you don't eat it because it's too like it got overcooked and then burned. But like the rest of the food there's fine, but you're like that little piece. You're like, you're not edible. Like that.
Well, if you are
Glorious.
overdone, probably a good time to call the stream. Oh, and Grizz popped back in for the last goodbye.
Perfect time.
Yeah, it's apparently Slack's birthday.
Too late, old man. Too late.
Which of you is older, Grim or Slack?
It's got me.
Boomer T. What's Boomer T years? I don't feel like I'm Boomer T years old yet.
I think he said he's got me. That you're older than Slack.
Oh, in the comments.
No,
Oh.
Boomer T.
It would help if I still had that up. There we go.
I'm not 50 yet, so there's that.
Happy birthday to
Nope,
you.
none of that now. No.
Oh,
I don't care if
no.
this is your stream or not.
I will leave.
We're glad you were born, Slack. Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
I'm glad.
Good night, everyone.
Bye.
Stay a while and listen.
Goodbye,
So
then.
long.
Be safe, friends.
Bye.
Don't you dare go hollow. Bye-bye.